Alright, and we're back. Let it sit for a while. Well, I smoked a cigarette. And let's watch this stuff just peel off. Look at that. No problem. Gotta be real careful with it too. You can see the stuff just peeling right off after that Goo Gone is on there. I don't really trust that solder machine that I have, especially on it, because I just got that the other day, and I've used it before on a couple screens of my own, like the phones that I buy off eBay that are broken, but I never test out my new products on people's actual devices, because I'd much rather do test runs on devices that aren't going to be picked up in 30 minutes to an hour, instead of, testing on one of those devices and breaking it, and then, telling them they have to come back in a week after I order a part, because that's just inconvenient for them. Even if that does happen, like that screen that I showed you earlier, that was clearly broken. I broke the LCD in the process of fixing everything. I gave them a temporary phone to use while I waited on the part to come in. But I just rather have everything happen very quickly, because my turnaround time is very important. I used to be an impatient person, so I know exactly what it feels like to not want to wait. I mean, some people are just impatient in general. They don't want to wait, 90 minutes. And the funny thing is, I mean, if I give somebody a phone to use in the process of me fixing their phone so that I can call them, if it's a phone that's not an Android or an iPhone or a Windows phone or whatever phone they're, accustomed to, it's like just a major inconvenience for them. So on top of having to pay me, $20 cheaper than anybody else around Farmington, you also want to be inconvenienced by, having to use a phone for maybe a week at the most. That's not the same as the phone that you had, just to get your phone repaired and back to you. Which I just think that's a little selfish. I mean, technology has made people kind of lazy. You're more dependent on what you're used to, and that's just not a good thing. I don't like to be dependent on anything, technology or resources. Because being dependent on things is just not good for anyone or anything. Might need to use some more Goo Gone up here on the top. I didn't get all this off. Just a little bit on the corners. A lot of people around the Farmington area, they say that they'll do screen repairs, but you'll usually get charged more because they're going to buy the screen and the LCD combination. Because there's been, I think it was a tablet that was brought into me that both iPhone Doctor and Techno Wizard said that was not fixable. Was not fixable. Which is funny because my slogan is, if you think it's broken, it's not, because I can fix anything. So they said it wasn't fixable, and I said it'll be $50 and I'll have it done for you within a week after I order the parts. Because theirs was I think it was a Nextbook tablet, 8-inch, and I didn't have the parts in it at the time, so I had to order the parts. But when the parts came in, I gave them a call, told them it'd be done in probably about 30 minutes, which is usually what it takes to replace a digitizer on the tablet. It was a little tougher than usual since it was adhesive down in a weird way. So I had to call them after 30 minutes and told them that it's going to take them a little bit longer, but I will notify them as soon as it's done. Got it finished, had it back together, and they wrote me a good review because, well, everybody else told them that it wasn't fixable. Once again, it goes back to the concept of, if you tell me something's that I can't do something, I will find a way to do it. And it doesn't really matter how it is, there's always a way. It's just like the Louise guy that I was watching on YouTube. He says, if a human can make something, I'm a human too. So that means that, maybe that human is a little bit smarter, but, a human did it nonetheless. So if they can do it, then I can do it. It's all a matter of applying yourself. If you really want to do something, there is nothing in this world that can stop you. Except for yourself. And everybody else can tell you it's not possible, you're not going to do it. But in the end, you're the only one that's stopping you from doing it, because you're the only one that's going to give yourself the validation of what they're saying. If I say I want to, build a teleportation device, even though science hasn't really, confirmed any technology that could even start the process other than on light. Somebody tells me, oh, you can't do it, you can't do it. If I let their opinion sway me from my own opinion, then yeah, I'm just going to give up. But like I said, in the end, it all comes down to you. It all comes down to you wanting to believe that everybody else is right. No matter how many people tell you, you can't do this, you can't do this. If you believe in yourself, you will always achieve greatness. And if you let other people tell you that, or convince you that you're not going to be as good as you plan to be in life, then that's kind of a negative mindset to have. I don't care how crazy any idea sounds to you. If you want to do something, don't let anyone tell you that you can't. I mean, let everybody tell you that you can't, but use that as motivation to prove them wrong. I love proving people wrong. Just to see the look on their face whenever, they say that, you couldn't do something, you'll never be as good as what you want to be or what you think that you can become. And then when you get to that point, then they just have nothing to say to you. They can't say anything because they told you you couldn't do something and you turned around and did it. It's really just a great feeling to have, not just the fact that, you prove them wrong. And don't just do it to prove people wrong. Do it to prove yourself right. Because there's no greater feeling than that self-accomplishment. That feeling that you knew that you had something all along and you still followed through with it because you didn't let anyone stop you. I mean, as long as it abides within, you know, the laws and everything like that. Like if I tell you, or if you tell me, I'm gonna rob this bank next week, you know, I'm not gonna tell you, well, I'm probably gonna tell you shouldn't. But that's one of those instances where you should probably listen to the other person and let them convince you not to do it. Unless you're just, you know, really good. I mean, I'm not condoning anyone robbing a bank. I'm just saying, you know, like when it comes to, you know, people that sell drugs, okay, they say, you know, a hustle is a hustle. Any money is good money. But that's not true, because you have to get out of that hustler mentality and get into what I call the entrepreneurial mentality. Because entrepreneurs are successful in the business world. They know how to make money out of any opportunity. I mean, legally speaking, that is. Because, you know, being a hustler and selling dope and all that, it's just not good. It's not going to get you anywhere. I mean, it's good, easy, quick money. But at the same time, it's, you know, you're going to eventually get caught and probably go to jail, and you know, nobody likes jail. I mean, you get 3 hots in a cot, but at what cost? The cost of your freedom. That's what. I have to go get some alcohol so I can clean the screen from all the adhesive. Well. Well, we've ran out of alcohol, so I'm going to use this vinaigrette adhesive, or vinaigrette window cleaning. As long as it's a very, what is it called? As long as it's not going to eat away at the screen or be too corrosive for the material. I mean, you don't want to use, like, you know, straight up Windex on the screen, because that wouldn't be good. Okay. And now that we have that out of the way, we'll to clean the screen with I have not prepared my towelettes. And don't think about the video that I'm always unprepared. I just haven't done a screen repair in a while, so I just haven't had my table set up properly. And we still have a little bit left here. A little bit more adhesive that we want to get off. Alright. That works good. Once again, we want to do triple checks. Check the screen one more time. And I know this is going to come on immediately because this phone is dead. And we're just going to want to plug this in and then see what it's going to do when we plug this in. Alright. So you can see the phone over there. Let me plug this in on the edge. And you can see that there is a battery sign very faintly, but it is there nonetheless. Apparently we only have 38 more minutes of playtime left, which is not very good. And we don't want to use the same spudger as the one we used to remove the adhesives. So let's get this here. Alright, and I'll be back.